Have you ever wondered why a man suddenly starts to miss you, but only when you're no longer around? It's a frustrating pattern. One minute he's distant, the next he's reaching out again. But this isn't just about mixed signals. There's real psychology at play. In this video, we're going to break down the powerful emotional triggers that make men miss you more. After a breakup, during silence, or even after a short time apart. These aren't just guesses. They're rooted in how the male mind works, what men truly feel but rarely express. If you've ever been confused by his silence or surprised by his sudden return, this video will help you understand why he starts feeling your absence more intensely, and how that absence can say more than any words ever could. Number 1, the psychological distance effect. One of the strongest forces that makes a man start to miss you is distance. But not just physical distance, psychological distance. When you're emotionally close to someone, when you're always available, when your presence becomes part of his daily routine, something subtle happens. He starts to overlook it. It's human nature. We tend to undervalue what's always within reach, but the moment there's space, whether because of a breakup, a long period of silence, or even just less time together, his mind starts to wander back. He thinks about the little moments, the inside jokes, the calm you brought. That space creates reflection, and reflection turns into longing. Suddenly, he's replaying conversations in his head, remembering how supported he felt. That gap doesn't just make him miss you, it makes him see your value more clearly. Because when you're no longer present, your impact becomes undeniable. Distance, in this sense, doesn't weaken bonds, it magnifies them. Number 2, the power of scarcity. Here's a psychological truth we often overlook. People chase what they can't easily have. It's called the scarcity effect, and it's just as real in relationships as it is in economics. If you were always available, always quick to respond, always ready to meet up, it may have made him feel secure, but it also made him complacent. There was no urgency, no mystery, no tension. But the moment you step back, reduce your availability, or begin focusing more on yourself, something flips in his brain. He starts to feel your absence, not just physically, but emotionally. He begins to wonder, where did that connection go? Why doesn't she respond like before? And now, he starts to crave what he used to take for granted. Scarcity doesn't mean being cold. It means valuing your presence enough to protect it. And when you do, it signals to him, consciously or not, that your energy is not cheap. It's earned. That shift alone can completely change the way he sees you and how deeply he misses you. Number 3, when men face challenges. There's something rarely talked about in relationships, but deeply rooted in male psychology: how men respond to pain and pressure. When a man is going through a hard time, stress, failure, setbacks, he often retreats. He might shut down emotionally or isolate himself. But inside that silence, something powerful happens. He starts to reflect. And more often than not, those reflections circle back to you. Why? Because when life gets hard, the mind reaches for comfort. And if you were a safe space for him, a calm voice in chaos, a steady presence in his storms, he'll remember that. In fact, he won't be able to forget it. Challenges strip away the distractions. They reveal what truly matters. And in those moments of struggle, he might finally realize what he lost, or what he's about to lose. Sometimes it's only when life tests him that he becomes emotionally honest with himself. And when that happens, the memory of you becomes more than just a thought. It becomes something he aches for. Number 4, the power of silence. Silence isn't just the absence of words, it's a presence all on its own. In relationships, especially after a breakup or emotional conflict, silence can speak louder than any message. When you stop texting, stop calling, stop checking in, it disrupts the pattern. And for a man who's used to you reaching out first, that silence is deafening. He notices the void you used to fill. Men often expect pursuit after tension, an apology, a conversation, a sign you still care. But when you break that pattern, it triggers something deeper. It creates uncertainty. Is she over me? Why hasn't she reached out? Is she moving on? That internal questioning stirs restlessness. It forces him to confront his own feelings instead of relying on your presence to keep things afloat. In that quiet space, your silence becomes a mirror. He sees himself without you. And in many cases, that's when he starts to realize just how much you mattered. The stillness becomes your strength. You don't chase, you don't explain, you simply disappear, and suddenly you're all he can think about. Number 5, when he realizes he's lost you. There's a moment, a sharp, sobering one, when it finally hits him. You're gone. Not temporarily, not playing hard to get, truly gone. And that's often when a man begins to miss you the most. In the early stages of a breakup, many men feel relief, space, freedom. They believe they've made the right choice. But give it time. Give him silence. And eventually that confidence begins to crack. The laughter you shared, the comfort of your voice, the daily rituals, all of it begins to echo. And when it does, regret creeps in. The realization that you're not just gone from his life, but moving on without him. That's when he feels the weight of what he lost. Men aren't always in touch with their emotions right away. But when it finally sinks in that you've stopped waiting, that you've stopped hoping, and that you're no longer his, that's when missing you turns into mourning you. And there's no quick fix for that. Number 6, the influence of nostalgia. Time has a way of softening the edges. When people look back, they don't usually remember every fight or flaw. They remember how someone made them feel. That's the power of nostalgia. And for a man who once shared a deep connection with you, those warm memories can come rushing back when he least expects them. He might hear a song, visit an old place, or smell a scent that reminds him of you, and suddenly he's transported to late-night talks, inside jokes, the way you used to laugh at his terrible impressions. These memories might have faded while you were together, clouded by daily stress or misunderstandings. But now in your absence, they shine. Nostalgia doesn't just make him remember, it makes him yearn. It edits out the noise and magnifies the meaning. And even if your relationship had its struggles, his heart may now be fixated on what was beautiful. That selective memory isn't deception, it's human. And for many men, it's the final push that makes them realize just how much they truly miss you. Number 7, when he sees you've moved on. Nothing makes a man miss you more than realizing he no longer has access to you, emotionally, mentally, or physically. When he sees you smiling again, dating someone new, or simply living your life with purpose, it hits differently. Because it's no longer just about missing your presence. It's about watching your absence become permanent. When you're no longer waiting, wondering, or hoping, that energy shift is powerful. It sends a signal he can't ignore. You've moved on. And ironically, that's often when he begins to reflect the most. He might question his choices, compare your glow up to what he's lost, or feel a competitive instinct rise up, one that says she's thriving without me. That feeling? That's not just regret. It's longing mixed with realization. And often it's too little, too late. Number 8, the power of unresolved emotions. Sometimes what keeps a person lingering in someone's memory isn't the relationship. It's what was left unsaid. Unresolved feelings are powerful. They can quietly haunt someone for weeks, months, even years. A man might not even understand why he keeps thinking about you, only that something feels unfinished. Whether it was a conversation that never happened, an apology that was never given, or feelings he was too guarded to express, those emotional loose ends can pull at him long after you've walked away. It's not just that he misses you, it's that he misses what could have been if he had done things differently. And in those quiet moments of reflection, that what if can become louder than any closure. Number 9, when he sees your growth. Growth is magnetic. When a man watches you evolve, whether it's starting a business, focusing on your fitness, traveling more, or simply radiating confidence, something stirs inside him. He begins to see you not just as you were in the relationship, but as the woman you're becoming without him. And that contrast can hit hard, because while he stayed the same, you upgraded. You used the pain, the silence, the space to rebuild yourself. And that new version of you, it's someone he now realizes he barely even knew. But the hardest part for him is knowing he's no longer part of that journey. He missed the evolution, and now he's missing you more than ever. Number 10, when he notices the little voids. It's not always the big things. Sometimes it's the smallest details that make a man miss you the most. The way you laughed at his jokes, the texts you used to send in the morning, the way you noticed when he was off, even before he said a word. When your presence was consistent, it became part of his routine, something stable, almost expected. But when it's gone, the silence in those tiny moments begins to echo. He pours his coffee and remembers how you used to make it. He hears a song and your voice comes to mind. These micro memories add up. They become little reminders of how much you once meant and how much you've left behind. At the end of the day, here's the truth. A wise woman does not return to a place where she was disrespected. No matter how much a man misses you, no matter how many memories he clings to, your self-respect should always be stronger than your emotions. Love doesn't excuse mistreatment. Longing doesn't justify going backwards. And missing someone doesn't mean you're meant to be with them again. You walked away for a reason, and every step you take forward is a reminder of how powerful you've become. So let him miss you. Let him feel the weight of your absence. But never forget, your peace is the real prize.